Hey, Slater Crusaders. So I want to talk about Gavin Newsom's 4-phase plan for California. And I want to talk about California, not just because I live here, but I used to live in Tennessee. And even in Tennessee, we always would look at California as sort of a crystal ball of craziness that's to come. So I think it's a good place to look at for what may be happening in your state. So 4-phase plan for California, super vague, to say the least. So phase 1 is what we're doing now. Phase 2 is not what I think it would be. It's way less than what I think we should be opening up for. But phase 2 is curbside pickup for retail, manufacturing can open, offices only if necessary, everyone else stay at home, telework, whatever. And then additional public spaces would open up, so like some beaches and parks, I guess. That's phase 2, that's it. To get there, this is the problem. To get to phase 2, we need 5 things to happen. ICU trends stable, and surge capacity needs to be met. I think that's fine. We're there in California. ICU pretty stable. We're way under surge capacity in California. That's great, wonderful news. But there's 3 other things that are way too high of a hurdle to meet, / an impossible hurdle to meet. And that's problematic if this is what we need for phase 2. So first, there's sufficient PPE, personal protection equipment, to meet demand. Testing capacity is sufficient to meet demand. And contact tracing capacity statewide. So let's go through each of those real quick. Personal protection equipment. Maybe we have enough. I mean, the governor spent $1 billion getting masks from China, $1 billion. Maybe we have enough, but for who, Governor? Like, who do you exactly mean? Do we need enough for just frontline workers? Or do we need enough masks for 40 million Californians? So I don't know exactly what you mean by a sufficient amount, but I'll rate that one as maybe possible, depending on exactly what he means. If we need masks for 40 million people, that's a problem. That's a long way to go. Just frontline workers, maybe that's possible. Testing capacity, that's never going to be sufficient. It's really interesting to go back to what we just talked about with Sweden and perception. South Korea, the perception is, mine was at least, that they're way ahead when it comes to testing. They're the model when it comes to testing. They're testing people all the time, nonstop. We got to be more like South Korea. South Korea has done, as of yesterday, 600,000 tests in a country of 51 million. That's 1%. So if the model country is testing 1% of people, what are we even looking for as the numbers that would be necessary in California to move out of phase 1 into phase 2? I don't know. He doesn't say. Also, what kind of test? What's the sensitivity of the test that we're talking about? We talked about test sensitivity yesterday on the show. There's no specifics from the governor, and that's not good. And then finally, contact tracing. That's not going to happen. So PPE maybe could happen, probably could, maybe. What we just talked about is like, nah, probably not. Probably not ever going to happen. The test. And then contact tracing, no, not going to happen. We've talked about it many times before. No way are you going to get more than 30% of Californians, maybe 30% of Californians signing up for a contact tracing app. It's not going to happen. And you need about 75% of people to download it in order for it to work. So that's what's necessary to get to phase 2. And that's statewide as well. Everyone, there's 56 or 58 counties in California, all of them need to be able to meet those demands before we open up, before any other county can open. So you'd have San Diego or LA or Orange County can do that. It doesn't matter because some other county can't, therefore no one can. Crazy, right? So phase 3 is hair salons, gyms, movie theaters, sports without live audiences, churches, and weddings. That's phase 3. So ladies, you're not getting your roots did for a long time now. That's stage 3. And then stage 4 is when therapeutics have been developed, and that's when convention centers and sports and concerts and stuff. So that's way off. So again, I'm just concerned that jump from phase 1 to phase 2 is way too high. Testing is too high of a bar. Contact tracing, near impossible. And no time frames, that's the problem. No, well, I understand no time frames. I'll give you grace on that. But no actual metrics. No real numbers at all. So how about, Governor, like we would need X number of masks. We need this much PPE for these people, higher priority, lower priority. Here's the ICU beds we have. Here's what I mean by a sufficient amount in order to meet the surge. This is how many tests we're talking about daily. We need this many tests daily. We need this many people to download the app. They don't even pretend to give any numbers at all. So we're nowhere near specific, not even a range. And that's frustrating. So listen, the name of the game for us has been grace the whole time. Grace. To everyone involved, to ourselves, but to everyone else involved, to everyone making decisions, because this is tough. And I think Newsom's done a good job. I really do. I have no complaints about Gavin Newsom. It's tough. It's a tough situation. Lots to consider. Schools, for instance. Right? Do we open up schools or not? Epidemiologically, it might be the worst thing to do, but because of CPS and apparently parents don't feed their kids at home and childcare concerns, you got to weigh all that. And right? There's hard decisions. You got to weigh a lot of factors, and we still have a lot of unknowns. So I get it. So giving grace, but some numbers would be nice. Some reasonable standards, more than the little document. It says one of the standards is there's contact tracing capacity statewide. Like that's what are you talking about? What does that mean? You gotta give me something more than that. Slater Crusaders, thanks for watching the first on YouTube. If you want more, like, subscribe. We got plenty.